Welcome back, traders. We are back and ready to cover Nio Stock, ticker NIO. I just can't get over the excitement of a potential bottom here. And I want to talk about why I think it's a potential bottom formation on Nio Stock, as well as what I think will act as resistance to potentially either send you for a retest or a lower low. What we're looking at here on Nio Stock, we had talked about previously being this local low trend line that you established in your all-time local low, right? And it's interesting here as you see this tap from the bottom. That was your 304, 302 bottom on Nio Stock. You saw a rebound in June of 2025 at 335, broke below it, retest, and then bam, that's what led to your spring of price action, right? So you're following, and make sure you pay attention here because we bounced off of that pitch perfectly, guys. We wicked down, did not fill the gap. So that's why I'm saying still potential downside to be looking for. The gap sitting at 451. Now, we talked about that all the way since you made it, and how you left all these gaps along. You then came back to fill all of them. In doing so, guys, traders, you have created significant gaps. You created a gap up here. You created a gap up here. Created a gap up here. And now I'm watching and anticipating for this potential swing back, if this is, in fact, the bottom. But potential resistance areas that you could be expecting to hit, you could expect to hit the bottom of this previous support trend acting as new resistance, because so often, traders, is that the case. You see old support flip as new resistance when you're going and you're tapping your head right, against what was previously a supportive trend, until you get a break, a significant move in either direction. So you had this channel that we talked about from the potential cup and handle. Now we're going to anticipate coming back to that at around 540. Now, what is so important about that 540 level, guys, is that is also one of the most stingiest, nastiest resistance and support lines on Nio Stock's history, 560 to be exact. And we marked this as significant areas of support and resistance. You can see how the stock bear flagged or chopped once hitting that, trying to make up its mind. And you've seen just how nasty this thing can run off of that supportive bounce. And now what I'm watching for is, what does the stock do once you retest this supportive trend, now resistance, and B, 560. So what I'm hoping for the bull case is that this chop here led to the head, come back, get a little bit of a head and shoulders action there. And what that would inevitably do on this inverse head and shoulders would bring you back to this swing low, to this swing high. And in doing so, you would make the completion of the recovery for this bull channel. There's many different ways you could draw it, right? But that would be significant. And it's something that I'm watching for. I wanted to cover as well why I think you may be at a bottom. And that is because we had talked about, ladies and gentlemen, we had talked about the fact that every single time you get into oversold, you bounce, right? This is off of the RSI. And if you can look towards the bottom of your screen, you can see here, every single time you've got to this bottoming formation, it's come with this bottom, shoulder, spring, bottom, shoulder, bottom. This one you just ripped straight through it, right? But so many times is it that spring action, and it's coming off of your oversold territory on the daily RSI. What did you do? You did that exact same thing. And so this is why I really like this position on Nio Stock as a potential bottom, because I outlined here, not only do you have your oversold territory beginning to bounce, and we'll talk about that in a second, you have bullish divergence on the RSI, right? You have a flat double bottom, and you have a significant lower low in price. Now, what does this mean for Nio Stock? Well, in my opinion, this means that you're about to see this V-shape recovery if you can get above this trend line, which it looks like you're already in the process of doing. This thing has smacked you down all the freaking way from 771 all the way down to what is that tick? 473, which is absurd. But in doing so, right, you're getting a bounce off of the trend line. You're finding that bottom. You're getting the bullish RSI divergence while you get that cross above the RSI daily band. And we had talked about this as well being at least a bullish relief signal, as you saw back here, right? You crossed on the 25th and you saw a minor relief, right? You saw a 10% relief. Now, it's going to be important if you can break this, confirm your divergence, and get back within this channel trend. If you could do that, guys, I do believe short term the best is yet to come on this stock, as that would revalidate your cup and handle formation. So we're watching for it. Another thing we're watching for, right? Very, very possible is on Nio Stock. I need you guys to pay attention here because you need to do your own due diligence. Things are still risky, even in an oversold market. You could see this channel or this trend line from the beginning of the run in two different ways. I like to see it from the first rally, right? But you could see it from this bottoming formation here as well. And if that is the case, right, if that is your bottom on Nio Stock, I would anticipate you create some kind of bear flag here, and then you break lower, you fill the gap sitting at 451. That's the trade. Don't mind that. You fill the gap at 451. Oh, there's his horn. You fill the gap at 451, and then you see this come all the way down to that low 4 territory. And that's not the worst case scenario, right? Because truthfully, you were just there. You just did not tag this gap fill, which I think is fascinating. So those are our two scenarios for Nio Stock going into next week. As you saw, and let's get a little drum roll action. Let's get a little excitement, right? Because you saw, drum roll, you saw a weekly close on Nio. A weekly close at 504, baby. That is above $5. That is your best case scenario. Because had you closed your first weekly candle in the $4 territory, that would have been inherently bearish. So you've done the first step of seeing that reversal. This long-wicked candle, although not a bullish hammer, could be the start of something that looks more like this, right? Like a V. Just like you saw back here, right? Although it wasn't a dramatic sell-off, even though this wasn't a bullish hammer, guys, this did lead to significant gains as you saw a nice reaction from the bulls at these low levels. Now, you have done something important, and we talked about this in our last video on Nio Stock, that you had sliced through the 50 line on the RSI. And that is an inherently bearish thing. But I do believe you're going to come to this trend line on the RSI same way you did on the price action. That you're going to come tap, 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 and then you're going to find your final tap on the RSI. Each move off of this trend line, seeing significant gains. This first move saw a 50% gain. The second move, don't even get me started, right? 138% gain. So this third move, I'm anticipating to be even more volatile. And if that is the case, guys, and we see that bounce from where we currently are, and we see that move up to 16, that is what I am praying for. I am hoping for to see. Because as you zoom out here even more, you see more of a shoulder, head, shoulder. And if you see that, guys, it is bon voyage. It is goodbye shorts and hello bullish Nio Stock. And so many people have been hating on this stock. But the more you zoom out, the more you look at the volume profile on the monthly, right? And we'll do that right now. The volume profile on the monthly is what gets me absolutely jacked. Looking at that right now, huge ramp up off your bottom on the monthly candle, 3 white soldiers formation, and then 3 just pitiful, sad, micro, you know what, volume bars. And I'm expecting a hard reversion if the bulls are going to step in. And if they're not, you're going to come down here to potential triple bottom. That's your worst case scenario, in my opinion, for the bulls. And I don't want to see that because that would be some choppy, you know what. But anything is possible on this stock as it is so volatile. On the quarterly chart, this is the last thing we're going to cover, and then we will jump into our next video. Slap the sub button if you guys are new. We're at 1,051 subscribers. Could not be more grateful. Could not be more happy. Thank you guys. Nio Stock in the quarterly chart. This is the closest you've been to a quarterly MACD flip since in your previous all-time low. Guys, you saw this thing tag 119 and then flip only 6 months later. Even if you guys are 6 months out from a hallelujah-esque move, right? Even if you're 6 months out from this quarterly MACD flipping on its head and changing the direction or the altitude in which the stock is going, you followed that quarterly MACD flip up last time with a 2,917% run, guys. I'm no dummy if you guys get that again. If we get that again, that is going to take you to $100. And I'm not advocating for it, nor do I honestly think it's likely. But quarterly MACD flip, you're 1 for 1, baby. And if that trend is going to remain your friend, I'm betting on this thing much higher. Much higher. So first things first, find a bottom, guys. It's not too long ago. We were just up last quarter 122%. Finding a beautiful, beautiful quarterly candle on the highest volume you've had since March or April of 2021, guys. That is huge. That's tremendous. Since your all-time high, this is the most volume off of this green stick that you've had. So what we're watching, we're waiting to see the follow-through. We want to see this thing cross, and not financial advice, absolutely not correlated at all. I just want to show you guys a couple examples. Open stock, right? You saw this flip. Yes, you went down 66% more, but once you got that bottom, 2,000% move. HYMC, another great example. AMC, another great example. HYMC. Right, HYMC got the flip, and then immediately you saw the macro change from your bottom all the way up 528%, guys. Now tagging $12. This thing is on an insane run, right? So that's what we're trying to watch on Nio Stock. We're watching for that macro flip and the follow through from the previous month's bullish price action. But that's all I got for Nio today, guys. God bless each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for watching the full length of the video. Slap the sub if you're not already. I don't know what you're doing. And we will continue to cover Nio every single day. God bless. And remember, guys, the best is yet to come. Peace.